Hi there, it's Sandra here from Laser Love, and I've decided to do a quick experiment this morning, so this will be a short video. I have these spice jars and I use them for all sorts of things, and one of the things I use them for is storing my 3D hinges that I use when I'm making wooden projects. So my husband's very kindly printed off a load for me, but they will get kind of lost unless I put them in something. So I made the word hinges in Xtool Creative Space, and I have done my engraving on here, but for the first time I'm using the marking paper that comes within the kit that you generally get when you're buying an Xtool. So this is the paper stuff that I was talking about. It's green and it just looks like it's been printed on photo paper or something. But what it is, by the looks of it, is kind of a thin plasticky layer which is painted over a sheet, and you simply cut off the piece that you want and you put it in water for a few seconds. I just used a cup of cold water, dunked it in there for about 30 seconds, picked it up and could see that it was going to release from the backing paper. So you apply it to your surface and you just press it down so it's nice and flat and dry it off, and then you use it for your engraving. But what I've traditionally used for all my engraving is chalk paint. Now the reason I use chalk paint as averse to any other is because it is very opaque. Now I've got a black, but I've also got it in white. And I use magic sponges to apply it because it helps get a nice even coat and it keeps most of the mess down, and I don't have to wash brushes or anything like that. So for the other side of this, all I'm going to do is put this layer of paint on. Pretty much instant. When that coat has dried, I mean you can dry it off with a hairdryer, but when it's dried and it doesn't take too long, that should be fine. And then I'm going to do exactly the same laser engraving settings as I did on the other side, and we'll be able to compare the two and see if there is in fact any difference whatsoever. Well, the first thing I noticed is that this stuff does not come off as easily as the chalk paint. The chalk paint under warm running water came off really easily, no problem. This stuff, I've been scrubbing at it and it just doesn't seem to want to come off very easy. You literally got to scrape it off. I was using a nail brush for both of them. With the chalk paint, I really didn't have to use the brush. I could have just literally run the water over it. This is definitely something that you really have to more scrape off, which perhaps it comes off if you soak it. But from the point of view of actual ease of removal, the chalk paint wins. The difference would appear to be on the engraving that this side with the green paper is actually a darker engraving. If I just get something white to put behind it. So this is coming out as if it's a pale grey. Now I didn't use any different settings when I did the engraving. You can see how hard this stuff is to remove. So if you want to have it's almost like a silvery grey finish, I guess, then this stuff would be what you want to use. So I'm guessing that if you do use it on stainless steel, I've not got anything stainless steel to try it on really, but I'm guessing that if you used it on stainless steel, it would increase the engraving colour that you get. But if I wasn't going to be doing that, I'm going to scrape this off or soak it for a while would annoy me. I generally like to get my projects done and dusted, and I still have to get the rest of that off, and I've got it under my nails and all sorts. But that's how it came out. There's no fault with the engraving. Admittedly, I'm not doing it on a flat surface, but just at the top of the letters there, it looks like it hasn't actually engraved that much. It's kind of got a shine to it. I mean, I don't have a rotary tool, but maybe if you're doing it on a rotary tool for something like this, it would be better. And this was just something that I wanted to experiment with. The same thing has happened on here, so yeah, it must be simply the focus is not quite there because of the curvature. And yes, I could have done it under a curve setting, but I wasn't going to for something this small and for something this unimportant. But yes, this looks like it is engraved. Normally it doesn't have any colour to it, you can see that. It just makes it look frosted. And on this side, it almost looks silver grey. So there we go. That is the difference between using a paint and using a marking paper on glass. Hope you found that useful, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.